And 3, 2, 100 and million. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Living on a Thin Line with Tony Vicich. I am Tony Vicich, and that is the name of the show, Living on a Thin Line. And we come to you every day at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on 3 platforms: Comedy Schools, RadioNetwork.com, YouTube on the Comedy Schools channel, and on Facebook Live on my personal page, Tony Vicich. How are you? It is Tuesday in America. It is Tuesday in America, and we've made it this far. And I'm feeling good about that. And I hope you are too. I got some fun stuff for you today. I've got some fun trinkets to share with you, some baubles, some things to show you. I've also got two great pieces of music to recommend to you, both of which you probably, if you're of a certain age, are aware of, but maybe have kind of forgotten about or haven't gone deep track on. And that is the issue. It is the issue. A lot of times for a lot of us, for people who listen to rock during the classic rock era, is that we remember their big hits because they're played constantly on the radio, but it's the deeper cuts, the third or fourth cut on the album sometime. There was that really wonderful song that faintly wasps through our heads still on occasion. We're going, what was that song? Well, we kind of help you with that show a little bit, I hope. A couple things to say about real quick. Tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thank you, Patricia Childs, for saying that I rock. And hello, Tina and Mike Lawson. Tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific Time, also Arizona time. Let's put it like that. We'll be offering a free intro to our stand-up comedy workshops. It's absolutely free. There's no obligation at all. All you got to do is click on your phone and watch, or click on your phone and listen. And we're going to lay out for 1 hour, lay out for your entire program. It's a great thing to do if you're looking for new things to do. It's a great thing to do if you're thinking about being a stand-up comic. It's a great thing to do if you are already in the public sphere and are looking to improve your ability to share with your mouth. So tonight at 6 o'clock, just go to comedyschools.com. Hello, Kevin Brown. Just go to comedyschools.com. You talk like a radio DJ. Hey, everybody, just go to comedyschools.com right there, and you'll get your Zoom codes and meeting IDs and passwords. Tell them Rick Dees sent you. Rick Dees. Anyway, here we are. We build this show on three things, ladies and gentlemen. Interaction with you, the audience, as you leave questions and comments on the three aforementioned platforms. I share with you a piece of memorabilia, some knickknacks, some autographs, some memento to have laying around here in the home office. Hopefully sometime either shape a little story around it based on my personal attachment to it, or about the thing itself. And then we recommend two pieces of music or artists based on my vast vinyl album collection. Let me say a couple things before we move forward. If you follow my Facebook page, just my personal page, Tony Vicich. I have other pages, but that's the one that's most active. I've been putting up a lot of silly stuff, if you've never heard of the band Mungo Jerry, Unfriend Me Now. What I'm doing is I'm digging at the Unfriend Me Now people. If you're going to do this, just unfriend me now. Like, why do I have to take the action? This is your problem in life. You're too goddamn passive. People have to choose to unfriend you. So I'm kind of making fun of that. I put up one today. I might actually get some unfriends over. And all I wrote on the little Facebook thing was, that actress Betty White, she never really did it for me. If you disagree, unfriend me now. And I may have actually pissed some people off. And if I have, that just shows you the times that we're living in. I've always liked Betty White. I've never sat down and went, ooh, a Betty White show. Hold on. You know what? We're not going anywhere tonight. There's a Betty White marathon. I've never said that. I've never went, you know what we need. I've never watched a show and go, you know what this show needs? A little Betty White. I've always liked Betty White. She's always been around my whole life. She's been around my whole goddamn life. She's like 400 million years old. My hat's off to her. I'm not going to take my hat off because I've been swimming. My hair's a mess. But I've never been like, Betty White. You know why a lot of people like her is because she's old. And we just think we're supposed to be nice to old people. I'm generally nice to old people, but I've known some old people in my life that were real pricks. So I'm just going to say that out front, okay? Betty White is funny. She's very funny. I enjoy her work. I've never got all jacked up. And you gotta keep in mind, at my age, I was a kid when Betty White was much younger and looks different than she does now. She was hot. Betty White, God damn. And even then, it wasn't like, yeah, okay. She birthed Cain and Abel. How old is Betty White? She's the godmother to Cain and Abel. I think that would be the joke. So if you like Betty White, I don't hate Betty White. It's just I've never gone, yeah, Betty White. That's all. But I like her. If she came by the house, I'd fix her a sandwich. I don't know what she can eat at this age. So like you can't eat when you get to be that age, I'd make her some soup, probably. If Betty White wants to come to my house right now, I'll make her soup. I won't even make Shirley do it. Shirley can sit there and chit-chat with her. What's it like being Betty White? How long have you been Betty White? Okay, have you always been Betty White? Shirley can chit-chat with her, show her some stuff, introduce her to the dogs, all that kind of shit. She can do all of that. And I'll open up a can of, Campbell's. Don't we have soup downstairs? Some sort of soup. So I'm putting it out in the universe right now, just for you Betty White fans.
It would mean more if you made it yourself.
Well, yeah, well, maybe I can make the soup myself. It might mean the thing with it is I could open her a can of soup and heat it up. Okay, or I could make it myself. Now, if I make it myself, it would mean more, but it would taste like crap. So what do you think Betty White would rather have? Some pretty good tasting soup coming out of a can.
Her taste buds might be gone.
Yeah, she might not have any taste buds. She might eat it and go, this tastes like cardboard. This tastes like a Little Caesar's pizza. All right, that's enough about Betty White, okay? All right. We base the show around three things. Talking to you, knickknacks. Now, let me point out, there's some controversy around this show. And the controversy is, does he or does he not collect bobbleheads? Now, I maintain that I don't. I am not a collector of bobbleheads. Do I have bobbleheads? Yes. Do I own bobbleheads? Yes. Do I like bobbleheads? Yes. Okay. Do I get a kick out of bobbleheads? Indeed, I do. Do I have doubles of some bobbleheads? I suppose I do. But that doesn't mean I collect them. Okay? And I know, because I get your cards and letters. Friends, we get cards and letters. People send in here on a daily basis. We appreciate all your prayers, too, for little Jimmy Dickens, who took ill right before the show last Saturday. That some of you are sick. You're sick and tired of bobbleheads.
And can't take it.
And you know what? I don't blame you. And I've really taken that to heart. And I went, my regular loyal listeners and viewers and followers, okay, they're sick of bobbleheads. Maybe I should do like Joe Rogan, have a bunch of people on, say a bunch of bizarre shit about, if you take vitamin E, you'll actually grow 6 inches, or whatever shit he puts on, when he's not busy trying to torment poor Carlos Mencia. Joe Rogan's career went like this, okay? Kind of a good stand-up comic, got lucky, got cast on a show called News Radio, is like the fifth wheel, is like the goofy guy who comes in, says a couple lines and leaves. All right. Kind of a road stand-up comic. All right. Then because he was into wrestling, he got to announce wrestling. And then he got lucky with one of those shows where he has people on that ate bugs and shit. That was his career. Here, eat this bug. I'm Joe Rogan. We're going to make people eat a bug. All right. And then when that was all over, he decided to torment Carlos Mencia for a while. And now he has a podcast. Maybe I should force people to eat bugs and have people on that dispense stupid medical advice. I don't know. But I ain't gonna. So then the question is, even though a lot of my listeners knew fear factor. What I always feared is that when I flipped on my TV, that shit would be on, and then I have to put out extra energy to change the channel. Question is, if I listen to you, and I have, all that being said, here's another bobblehead. Are we sick and tired of people that have podcasts that are full of crap? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. There you go. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Who is this, ladies and gentlemen? Who is this? What is he standing in front of? Look, that's a pretty cool bobblehead. But, because it's got this thing he's standing in front of. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the man, the myth, the legend, Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson, one of the best players to ever play the game. Kirk Gibson helped bring the Detroit Tigers to the World Series in 1984. Kirk Gibson helped bring the Los Angeles Dodgers to the World Series in 1988. And it's one of those legendary games where he came in at the end of the game as a pinch hitter and hit a walk-off home run. Whack. Okay, and he was pinch hitting because he was injured and he couldn't play the field. Walked up, first pitch, home run, and hobbled around the bases to screaming, cheering fans everywhere. And I remember it. I was in a comedy club, I want to say in Traverse City, Michigan. This was in the fall of 1988, and I was touring the country. I didn't even have a house. I mean, I could afford a house, could afford an apartment, I could afford to rent. But in 1988, put all my stuff, belongings in storage, and took off across the country like a hobo, like a comedy hobo, just telling jokes from sea to shining sea. And I remember watching the game, and I was like, I think I might have been in Michigan, and that's one of the reasons why they were so damn happy, because they loved Kirk Gibson from his time on the Detroit Tigers. He's also famous for being caught up in some sort of sex scandal. Some girl who sued some ball player, and his name got drug into it. And she talked about whenever Kirk Gibson came to town, they got together and got busy. And she always fixed chicken for him because, according to her, Kirk Gibson wasn't the smartest guy in the world. I don't know if that's true or not. But that he was very superstitious, and that every day before a game he ate chicken because he said there's hits in that chicken. That he believed that if he ate chicken before a game, that he would get hit. And because a man with that sort of intelligence and wisdom, they made him the manager for a while of the Arizona Diamondbacks. There he is. Kirk Gibson, wild man, great player. Okay. A man's man, a dude's dude. Okay, kind of a funny guy. There he is, standing in the dugout as manager. Webster definition of collect. To gather and accumulate. This is from Randy Ioma. To gather an accumulation of objects, by definition, you are a collector of bobbleheads. I reject your terms. Randy, first off, once again, Kirk Gibson, manager. And it's a good bobblehead. It's solid. Okay, let's get that little extra piece that makes it fun. So, Randy, here's the thing, Randy. If we can redefine what grooming means, because to me, grooming is something you do to a horse or a dog. Okay, I'm going to redefine. I'm not a collector. I just have a bunch of bobbleheads and I'll collect them. Okay, I'm not sitting here all night looking at them and looking them up, shining them up, going, hey, be careful. You almost knocked down my bobbleheads. All right. You know what? I don't think we can have a debate here, Randy, because I reject your definition of terms. I reject it, sir. And we live in a time of linguistic relativism, and we live in a time when plurals can be used as singulars when describing an individual if they decide that those are the pronouns they want used to describe them. And I respect on that. Okay. But if all that can happen, I can redefine collector to mean someone who actually plays with, I don't know. I'm going to think of a definition. Okay. All right. Tim says, everybody in town says you became a hobo. How the hell, Tim, can they say I became a hobo? Oh, you're talking about the year I was on the road as a comic. You know what? I think I would have liked being a hobo. You know, I would have liked to just hitchhike around the country. You know, some sort of permanent version of on the road. But after a while, a man's got to settle down and put down the roots. And by the way, if you're from Missouri, that does not sound like an odd pronunciation of the term roots. That sounds stupid to me. Roots. You know, Tim, I'd stayed a hobo my whole life, just riding the rails, playing my guitar, my old dog shit. Maybe a woman by my side, but, you know, woman getting away. When you're out there on the highway, you know, just cooking beans over a can of Sterno, singing some old freight train song. But a man's got to put down the roots. Speaking of root, I've got some root stuff here to share with you. People change over time. People kahenge. Can you pronounce it like that? Kahenge. Change over time. I have. Many of you have. The nefarious wild man later on becomes the avuncular sage. There you go. Look that shit up. People change over time. People find religion, lose religion. Some people find religion, have people are raised religious, lose religion, find a different religion to go back to the original religion. Such is the case with the bard, Bob Dylan. And this is a seldom used, but originally bought at the time it came out, copy of Bob Dylan's "Slow Train Comin'." One of the greatest singers of songs that were precursors to the apocalypse. Bob Dylan, "Slow Train Comin'" is another one of them. Even though this song was much maligned when it came out in the late 70s, I think 79 or no, a little later than that, early 80s. When it came out, it really threw a lot of Dylan fans off because a lot of Dylan fans were young, hedonistic, liberals, libertarians. He was raised in the Jewish faith. He was held in high regard by other people who were raised in the Jewish faith. And all of a sudden, he's a Christian. There's even imagery here. If you got the train coming, you see the guy with the pickaxe, and the pickaxe is actually like a crucifix. Almost like Jesus with a hat carrying a crucifix. So pretty cool artwork. Even on the back, even though all it is some telephone wires. Let's see if I got it for you guys here. We see the crucifix. So for a short period of time, Bob Dylan seemed to have converted to the Christian faith and decided to make a few bucks off it by putting out an album. Some good songs on here. Got to serve somebody. You got to serve somebody. It may be the devil. It may be the Lord. Believe in You, Slow Train, which is a great song. When He Returns, very religious. Man Gave Names to All the Animals from the book of Genesis. When You Gonna Wake Up, Do Unto Others, Do Right to Me, Baby, Do Unto Others, Gonna Change My Way of Thinking. So Dylan is one of those artists who constantly and continues to reinvent himself. And what a lot of people forgot, especially when you're dealing with the three major versions of Bob Dylan, which is the early young folk singing firebrand, the creator, with the times they are changing, songs of that nature, to the creator of folk rock, plugging in an electric guitar to Newport Folk Festival and having his poetry accompanied now by electrified guitars, drums, and amps, exemplified in albums like a Rolling Stone. Actually, 4 versions. Okay, 5th version is mid-70s revival with great albums like Desire and Blood on the Tracks. All the way up to now when we've got this almost living work of art that travels around the world, demanding your attention as they decide to redefine their art in front of you. There's all those versions. The one we forget about is the brief flirtation with Christianity. And he put out an album in honor of it, Slow Train Coming. And you know what? If you want to listen to a good tune, you want to listen to, especially you got to serve somebody who's got like a little funny lick in it. You may call me Jimmy, you may call me Ray, but you still got to serve somebody. And Slow Train, which is a very cool song. Very cool, very well put together. And the rest of the album really you're going to go, wow, man, the guy's become a Jesus freak. Jesus freaks are something that we called our friends in the early 70s who did a bunch of bad acid and then all of a sudden became Christians. I had friends personally that happened to. And you know what? Maybe they're the better for it. I don't know. The next album. Okay, once again, dealing with, kind of like major players. Nothing, I'm not throwing anything in too bizarre today, anything too offbeat. But here we've got, and it's a reissue of some sort, Joe Cocker. Now, we haven't talked about Joe Cocker a lot on the show. Joe Cocker is another one of those people who, when he was around, there were so many fascinating acts that Joe Cocker didn't necessarily get lost in the mix, but just kind of got dropped into the mix. On this album, a bunch of cool versions. He wasn't a songwriter. Okay, but he was a great interpreter of songs. Bye Bye Blackbird, like an old Tin Pan Alley song. I Shall Be Released, Dylan song, That's Your Business. Bird on a Wire, Leonard Cohen song, Just Like a Woman, another Dylan song. Sandpaper Cadillac, I'm not familiar with. Dear Landlord, Something, a Beatles tune. Changing Louise, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, originally made a big hit by Eric Burdon and the Animals. Lottie Miss Claudie, which a lot of people like, kind of a simplistic tone. And of course, one that was massive for him, that launched him into stardom, by the way, when he did it at the Woodstock Music Festival, With a Little Help from My Friends. So a stunning singer. A couple things about him. One of the most important people in Joe Cocker's career was Leon Russell. Some say without Leon Russell, there'd been no Joe Cocker, as he got hired as the piano player for a tour, for a Joe Cocker tour, and then I think Leon insisted, or sometimes wheedled it in, that he could put together the band along with singers and horns and everything, and just created this incredible rhythm and blues with a hot horn section band behind Joe Cocker that made Joe Cocker sound fan-fucking-tastic. There was an album and a movie made about it called Mad Dogs and Englishmen. And it's also, as Leon Russell began to come to the forefront, being a session player, arranger, writer, kind of a behind-the-scenes guy, all right, all the way up to stardom, which lasted for him for quite some time. Joe Cocker moved weird. He moved oddly. He moved like this when he sang, and so no one was indecent enough to go, what the fuck's wrong with him? You just kind of kept it to yourself, but obviously you go, something's wrong with the guy. What'd you do? He did like that. But finally, someone did, and famously or infamously, John Belushi, the comic genius on the original version of Saturday Night Live. And if you want to know where great comics come from, read about his life and his activities and go, oh, okay. All right, John Belushi wouldn't last an hour in today's woke culture or here in cancel land. That being said, did a drop dead perfect imitation of Joe Cocker. And one night on Saturday Night Live, when Joe Cocker was the musical guest, while he was singing, unbeknownst to Joe Cocker, not knowing it was going to happen, out came John Belushi doing his impersonation right next to Joe Cocker. Joe Cocker played along, but it became one of the, for the classic rock boomer generation, one of the classic pieces of comedy where the imitation is almost more perfect than the artists themselves. Joe Cocker later explained that he didn't think he moved weird. He did not think he moved weird. He thought that it just looked cool the way he was moving. You know, you're talking about a from a poor working class family somewhere in England, okay, who didn't really spend a lot of time watching himself, not a narcissist at all, you know, bad dresser. Okay, but you could be a bad dresser around the 60s. You wear a tie-dye shirt and striped blue jeans, and everybody thought that was normal. But then by, the early 70s, you're still doing it. You go, that guy's got some sort of dysfunction. He never thought the way that he moved was weird. Okay, his career lasted quite some time too, well into the 80s. Songs like "You Can Leave Your Hat On." Not somebody who's always in the forefront. When we dig back into the echoes of our minds and think about the artists that we loved from the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, people who lasted a long time. Not one of them that's in the forefront, but one that you might want to go back and revisit. Listen to his version of something and listen to his version of With a Little Help from My Friends, and tell me those aren't stunning, epic, wonderful tunes that may not make you get up and dance, but move you inside in ways you can't describe. Okay, hey, that's it. I'm gonna take a break now. I'm not taking a break. For me, it's taking a break because I'm gonna be back. I'm going to be back at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time, Pacific time, with a free intro to my stand-up comedy workshop. No obligation to your part. Just tune in. Go to comedyschools.com, get the link or get the password and the meeting code, and listen to me give my spiel. Okay? It's a spiel that has helped people go all the way from listening to that spiel to national television. Some people just like to pop in and listen to it. All right, that's it. We're wrapping it up. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more thrilling stories from yesteryear. Diddle-it, diddle-it, diddle-it,
Are we done?
We're out.